Welcome back to the Larry Gomes Stadium for action in match number 2 for today in the CFU Club Shield. And we will have the All Saints FC United team out of Antigua taking on SCSA Eagles of St. Martin. This one promises to be a really exciting clash, as these two teams would have seen two of their group opponents play earlier. SV Transvaal coming away with a 3-0 win over Wooluse FC of the British Virgin Islands. So we are getting ready for a kickoff as the teams take the toss. And in charge of this one, referee Moeth Games of St. Vincent. His first assistant is Jacette Kerr-Wilson of Jamaica, and also of Jamaica's second assistant referee, Stephanie Dale Yeesing. The fourth official is Leon Hazard of Grenada. Keep in mind that the teams in this competition are vying for positions to be promoted or propelled into the CONCACAF Caribbean Cup, which takes place next month. So it's all to play for. They'll need to top their groups, however. The 4 groups taking place in Trinidad and Tobago, with action happening at 3 venues. The Larry Gomes Stadium in Arima, which is where we are here today, the Hazley Crawford Stadium, Port of Spain, and the Atto Bolden Stadium in Couva. So there is kickoff from left to right. Is the All Saints United team from Antigua in white strips, and from right to left is the All Saints, or rather the Eagles team from St. Martin. We saw our first opportunity there for All Saints as their front man chased down what many may have thought was a losing cause, DeAndre Bishop, getting onto the end of it and delivering a cross which had to be defended out for a corner. Bishop himself is standing over it. 5 white shirts across the area to aim at, but it's defended at the first post, and this is the Eagles team able to come away with a throw-in. Another throw-in for the boys from St. Martin, Eagles. And somehow they're able to manufacture another throw-in, this time in to their own, or rather the opposition half. All Saints, they get it all the way back to their central defender before coming forward now. This is a promising move. This is Bishops trying to give chase. Loses out to the Eagles defender, and here they come now, the team from St. Martin. Just close down on it, and this is a good dummy. Trying to find the runner across the face of goal. Will it run out of play? It doesn't. He keeps it in, but the Eagles player picks it up now. Brings it away for them. Player is down for the Eagles team. That seems to be number 8, James Homer. Play resumes now with the free kick. Headed away and touched on further. Eagles retrieve it now. And this player is turning on a dime. And All Saints give it away. This is Eagles again now with a good ball down the right-hand side. The cross comes in just a bit too heavy for the Blue Shirts. And it's a throw-in to All Saints. So taking the opportunity here to survey what's ahead. This is a good-looking ball for the All Saints team. And the cross comes in, but a heavy challenge. A bit late. The assistant referee on this near side didn't see anything wrong with the challenge. And eventually they get another corner kick. And once more it's Bishop coming over to take responsibility. It's whipped in now. This is could be dangerous, but it's comfortable save and an assured one. As the Eagles team, they launch forward now. But it's a good recovery effort by the All Saints player, and eventually turning it into his favor for a free kick. So still goalless. Just about 6 minutes have elapsed. This could be a chance for Eagle. The player skipping through Wibbens Elsie. And he's brought down. Free kick for Eagles. Consultation happening between their captain, Loxley Parker, and Timon Van Duyn. This perhaps might be Van Duyn. Straight at the wall. He gets a follow-up effort and it sneaks through. All the way out for a goal kick, but he had some power behind that follow-up effort after the initial chance came back to him off the wall. Here they come again now, Eagles, with a ball looking for their front man, Martin Janssen. But it's turned over now to All Saints. All Saints just taking the opportunity to calm things a bit. Being a bit more patient in the build-up. Here they come now. This is Bishop with a good ball through. This could be a chance. It could be a goal. He's trying to be unselfish, but it's deflected in. The man affecting that play that time, Kenduka Challenger, the captain for All Saints. As he tried to roll it across the face of goal, it got a touch off Loxley, and the opposing captains both involved in that one. Challenger, the captain for All Saints, trying to roll it across, and it's deflected in off the Eagles captain Loxley and past his helpless goalkeeper for the opening item in the 8th minute. So as it stands, 1-0 to All Saints in the 10th minute. So we have resumption. Into the lead. All Saints out of Antigua. And looking for more. Here they come again. This is a ball across the Bishop. He got something on it, but just not enough to beat the man in goal for Eagles, Chandro Wilkin. And so it seems as though the Antiguans are showing real intent early on. So an own goal off the boot of the Eagles captain, Loxley Parker, in the 10th minute is what separates these two teams. All Saints United FC out of Antigua with the lead. Trying to get something going again. At that time, it's allowed to run all the way back into the arms of Wilkin. And Eagles will come again. That time looking to get Janssen involved. He comes out worse for wear in that aerial duel. And play resumes now with a ball out to the right side, the near side touchline. And looking to get that player going again. That's Jairzinho Ogaro, but just doesn't have the legs to catch on. Foul there against Janssen. So some slick passing before the error leads to a throw-in to Eagles on that far side. Janssen, or rather Van Duyn, making the run through the middle. Switching the point of attack. All Saints now. And they find their way into the opposition penalty area, but it's cleared away by Parker. Throw into All Saints, flicked on by Bishop. This is Zafik Drew, loses out, and a good ball inward now by Eagles, and perhaps in two minds there whether to play that pass to Janssen or Van Duyn, who's making a run nearer to the touchline. Returns possession to All Saints, and here they come on the attack again, but that one is poked away from the man in the number 10 shirt, Raheem Detterville. And now, free kick, Eagles. So this match being played at a frenetic pace so far. End-to-end stuff, really. And the team's only separated by a 10th minute own goal into the net of the Eagles team that gives All Saints the lead. This is Drew whipping this one in, and onto the end of it was Tiquan Isaac. It's still alive, and it comes down to Isaac for an easy tap-in for goal number 2 for All Saints. So the initial cross fizzed across goal and then whipped back in by Leroy Graham over the head of Bishop. But Tiquan Isaac was not about to miss out and scores an easy tap-in to make it 2-0 now to All Saints United FC from Antigua. That goal coming in the 17th minute. And already All Saints United out of Antigua dominating this game. Certainly, if not by chances created or possession, by measurement of goals scored. Eagles try to mount a response. The player slipping that time as he came out to apply some pressure was Isaac. And now this ball is out toward the opposing number 13, Adriano Wilson. Unable to make that count. This is Isaac, leaves it short. And here they come now. Weebens Elise trying to thread one through. Fairly straightforward save for Jaden Martin in goal for All Saints. Patient in the build-up. So the All Saints team being urged on by a fairly partisan crowd here at the Larry Gomes Stadium. This is a good looking cross, but just too weighty for the interest of Bishop. The cross that time coming in from Zafik Drew, the right fullback for All Saints United. And now Eagles come forward, having taken the goal kick quickly. This is Parker. Plays it across to his defensive partner, Fernando Tapia. And now just trying to clip this one forward. This is Isaac, the goal scorer for All Saints, linking up nicely with Bishop. And a stiff challenge coming in from Loxley. It's gone now to Weebens Elise, and he's trying to play in Adriano Wilson. This ball eventually played out of touch as the man down following that heavy challenge by Loxley Parker. The Eagles captain is Isaac, it seems to be. And so we have a stoppage at just around 21 minutes played. It's good to see the player back to his feet and able to walk on his own, as he's obliged now to leave the playing area, having received on-field treatment until the referee decides that he should return. And the man down was the goal scorer, or the second goal scorer rather, for All Saints, number 13. Tiquan Isaac. Eagles motoring along that right-hand side, and the foul is committed by Graham. Free kick to, or rather that was that Dorrell Pear. And so it's a free kick to Eagles from a decent position. Should Van Duyn be able to whip this one on with his left foot? He does, and it's troubling the All Saints goalkeeper, and it's still up for grabs, but that one is deflected wide of the mark. So Van Duyn caught Jaden Martin in goal for All Saints, backpedaling as he whipped that one in nicely with his left foot, and it crashed off the crossbar. falling to the feet of the Eagles player was that Blake Thompson, or rather Khalid Tavernier, and he couldn't direct his shot on target. It was deflected away for a corner, which will be delivered now by Weebens Elise, the number 10 for Eagles. It's a floated one, and it's onto the head of Tavernier, who gets the return pass now. Wiggles past the defender, but it's still with Eagles. And it's off now to the races for Bishop. Tapia is the opposing defender, but this one is played inside to that's number 10, Raheem Detterville, and his shot is a tame one. Easy save for Chandro Wilkin in goal for Eagles. They come the other way. This is a ball looking for the run of Van Duyn. Blake Thompson goes across. He has some work to do. Still not quite able to get it clear, and then he just plays it off the foot of Van Duyn for a throw-in to All Saints. This is Isaac. Shifts it along to Drew. Ogaro now. Center of the park sees the arrival of Theodore. And it's all the way back now with Dorel Pear. Pear to Theodore, who's in the number 9 shirt, but playing more of an 8th position. Certainly not in the position that we've come accustomed to seeing number 9s picking up. He's just anchoring the midfield, it seems. Kazim Theodore, here he is for All Saints, and he plays this one back to Thompson, gets it back, and then returns it to Blake Thompson, who again is number 11, playing in the central defender's position. And this is a decent attempt by Detterville to try to get Leroy Graham going on that left-hand side. Loxley Parker will aim long, and it sneaks through the middle of that All Saints setup, but harmlessly through to Jaden Martin. And they start again now from the back. This is their captain, Ken Duca, challenger. Plays it to Detterville. And it comes all the way back now to Thompson, who allows Martin to have a share. Pear now. They've slowed the pace somewhat, All Saints, having started at breakneck speed, but with a 2-goal cushion, perhaps thinking about being a bit more deliberate. As this comes back now to Martin, shifted on to Pear. Pear just clips it over the top under the attentions from Van Duyn. He gets it back now, Dorel Pear, and heads it toward his captain, Ken Duca, challenger, but it's back with Eagles now, and they are KLS in possession, but then they win it back. Van Duyn. Elise wants it in the pocket. Instead, he tries to reverse it toward, that was Adriano Wilson, but he had straight offside and signaled by the far side assistant. Theodore in a very deep position now to challenger. this is out wide to Detterville, the number 10. Shuffles it back to Pear, Dorrell Pear. And this now is Jafik Drew. Jafik Drew is playing it down the channel for the run of Bishop. He's all alone. He'll have to go alone and still tries to sneak through on the near stick. Good foot save though by Chandro Wilkin. Keeps the scores at 2-0 to the Antigans. As you saw there, Bishop, he didn't have much support. And once he realized that he had to go it alone, he tried to be a bit deceitful. And instead of going across the face of goal, as we've been taught rather from the younger age group, he tried to sneak that one in, and sneaking in that time was Blake Thompson for a free header from the corner kick. Swung in by Bishop. And somehow failing to hit the target. This now is Eagles coming forward. This is Weebens Elise. Squares his man up and then beats him for pace. Cuts this one back nicely, looking for Janssen. But Detterville is back doing some defending, and he lumps this one forward toward Bishop, who's heading it on to goal scorer Isaac. And now again, just choosing to slow things down. This is Challenger. On the outside of him is Graham. Not much happening, and just a lapse in concentration allows Eagles to come away with it. Still with them. This one is played to Janssen. Just can't hold it up to invite the assistance of his midfield that was coming forward. And so this game at just the half-hour mark is grinding to a crawl now. No real urgency by the All Saints United team as they hold a 2-goal cushion. One of the most dangerous leads, however, in football. 2-0. As it is often believed that if the opposition is able to get one back, the momentum more often than not shifts in favor of the chasing team. But here they come again now, All Saints. This is a ball out to Ogaro. Tries to hold it up. Successful for now. Still alive for Ogaro. Weebens Elise deep in his own half. The number 10 for Eagles. And they just can't get it away, Eagles. This is Ogaro now, back to Theodore. Shifts it inside to Detterville. He'll surely be thinking about it, and he does, but he was uncertain. He's asking for a corner kick, but it's only a goal kick to Eagles. Play resumes. Tapia into the feet of Duin. And this is a good exchange, but it's eventually won back by All Saints, and only momentarily. Weebens Elise now. He has Drew in attendance. Elise just shifting, twisting, turning, and he's brought to the ground by Drew, just as he seemed to have maneuvered some space for himself. Instead, throw in, or free kick rather, for Eagles. This is Loxley Parker, the captain. Lumps this one forward. Heads go up. Blake Thompson wins it. And this is Ogaro now. Tripped up by Elise. Free kick. to All Saints. Or rather, that was Jean McKinley with the infringement. Here's Martin for All Saints. Again, we're just beginning to see them take their foot off the gas somewhat as they begin to walk the ball forward. But this is a good ball and a good run by Challenger. And perhaps he was preoccupied wondering whether the Eagles goalkeeper Wilkin was coming or not. And just as he took his eye off of it for a second, that allowed it to get to Wilkin. This is a ball now for Isaac. He was in. No offside flag was forthcoming. And this now is an acrobatic attempt. Still alive, Detterville. Detterville working the shot. And the deflection takes any sting off of it and allows Wilkin to grab it up. So, an interesting passage that time of play as Eagles come forward now. The player there is Wilson. Awaits the arrival of Tavernier. And it's all the way back, but that's a heavy touch. And they lose out now. They go the other way. This is Bishop. To the outside is Challenger. And he's just losing his footing a bit. But eventually gets it out to Ogaro. And the overlap is true. The ball is slotted through now. Isaac is the player backward. Nobody was abreast of him as that cross came in. And it allows Tavernier to pick it up for Eagles on that far side. 35 minutes played. Just under 10 minutes remaining in this first period. And that's a labored attempt at a cross-field ball. And now they're just walking it, or continuing to walk it rather, All Saints, asking the Eagles team to step out of this mid-block, inviting them to come forward, but Eagles reluctant to do so. They seem to want to play more of a counter-attacking brand. And this is Blake Thompson just holding play up, shifts it all the way over to Pear. Graham, and they lose out again. So this is where Eagles clearly want to win it and play in that transition phase. But that time, as in countless other previous attempts, unable to string those passes. This is Isaac with the ball across, and it was just behind Bishop. And here comes Eagle again. So they clearly want to play in transition. Cutting inside is Wilson, but he leaves it a bit short to Van Duyn. Still alive, Tavernier. Tries to get around Blake Thompson. Can't quite do so. Gets it back now to James Homer. Tavernier clips this one in towards Van Duyn. And Drew couldn't be sure. Flicks it out for a corner kick to Eagles. So it's a corner kick, just about 37 minutes played. Eagles playing from behind, mind you. They trail 2-0 to the team out of Antigua, All Saints United FC. This is Weebens Elise with the kick. It's a floated one and gives Jaden Martin sufficient time to position himself and claim. He rolls it out to Blake Thompson. Well, again, just leisurely strolls it upfield. Drew. Back to Thompson. Thompson will roll this one across to his captain, Kenduka Challenger. Challenger trying to pick out Ogaro, who's gone over to that right-hand side, and Detterville has come over to this near side. And they're forced into committing a foul. All Saints. We saw earlier from a free kick, Van Duyn able to hit the crossbar. So from this sort of position, it's a bit further out this time, but he certainly does possess the quality to deliver something that will give the All Saints United defense something to think about. There's a lot of movement. Janssen trying for that late run, and he's going for goal. Van Duyn, Martin watchful, allows it to just float over the crossbar. So coming up on 6 minutes left in this first half. All Saints United from Antigua 2. Eagles FC from St. Martin 0. This is Drew. Ups back to Thompson. Thompson to Pierre. Pierre to Graham, and Graham plays this one forward to Ogaro. There's a bit of space ahead of him. Instead, he goes to his captain, Challenger. And now it's with Pierre again. Thompson. And Detterville. Thompson again. Resets it to Martin. And now Pierre. The instruction is for him to hold on to it. And Challenger rolls this one all the way back to Martin. So they're trying to throw their opponents forward. This is a good ball. Detterville goes after it, but it's a bit too close to Wilkin. This is Tapia. Tapia plays this one into Van Duyn. Van Duyn now changes the point of attack. This is a good ball to Weebens Elise, and he's matched up one-on-one with Drew. He got the better of him earlier, and he's just trying to slide this one through to Tavernier. And Detterville is all the way back to clear the danger. This could be a chance, but it's a heavy touch from Homer. Booted away by the defender there from All Saints United. And here they come again through their captain, Loxley Parker. He slips this one to Tavernier. Tavernier now to Van Duyn. Plays this ball through to Weebens Elise. Elise only has one across. And it's deflected into the air, requiring Martin to punch it away. Still alive for Eagles. And eventually it's ricocheted off the defender and out for a corner kick. The man in the attacking position that time, Jans Richards, unable to earn his team a corner kick from the right-hand side, which Van Duyn will deliver using his left foot. So it's going to be an in-swinger. And just a bit too much on it as it drifts harmlessly out for an All Saints goal kick. So just to bring you up to date on proceedings so far, the opening item coming via an own goal off the boot of the Eagles captain, Loxley Parker, in the 10th minute. And then doubling the lead for All Saints was Tequan Isaac with a simple tap-in from a left-sided cross. And that's the way the things stand presently 2-0 to All Saints United. Looking for something more. Isaac, though, couldn't get it under control. And it's only out as far as Challenger before it's picked up then by Theodore. Tetterville now trying to... Oh, and that's a crunching challenge by Drew. It was a bit high. And the referee certainly agrees, showing him the yellow card. So a rush of blood to the head of Zafiq Drew as he left some on the player who's now down for Eagles. Jean McKinley. As we look at it one more time, a loose ball. And Drew just dove in. He's lucky to escape with only a yellow card, I'll tell you that much, because that boot was high and the studs were exposed. And Jean McKinley is now feeling the after effects of it. But an unnecessary challenge. And he's certainly fortunate to escape with only a yellow card. Drew, he's being called over to the touchline now by his coach, Neil Jeffers. It's perhaps just instilling in him the principles of patience and, of course, composure. 2 minutes will be added to the end of this first half. And Eagles resume play with Webens Elize being attended to by Theodore. There's no need for him to foul, and he just pushes into the back of Theodore. So it's puzzling to see that he even protested the referee's decision, because the push was quite evident. And the free kick for All Saints is punted up toward Bishop, who's unable to bring it under his control, and it's all the way back to Chandro Wilkin. This is Ogaro for All Saints. Gets it to Graham. This is Parker. Now to Richards. Jans Richards plays this one over the top looking for Van Duyn. It's picked up by Janssen. And now trying to barge his way through is Tavernier. Cleared now to Kenduka Challenger. And picking up a more central position is Ogaro. This is Isaac. He has Drew on the advancement. This one is played to Detterville. He gets onto it, Detterville, and a calm finish just like that brings the third item for All Saints United Football Club. A goal scored by Raheem Detterville in the first minute of added on time eases All Saints United into a 3-0 lead just on the brink of halftime.
Ladies and gentlemen, goal for All Saints FC in the 45th plus 2 minutes. And number 10, Raheem Detterville.
So the All Saints team cruising into a 3-0 halftime lead in this one. From here, it's going to be a long way back for the Eagles Academy as the referee, Moeth Games, brings this first half to a close. And Tigers, All Saints United, will go into the locker room at halftime leading 3-0 over the Eagles Academy out of St. Martin.
It's not simply about how many games you win, but more about how many lives you touch. This is why we do it. Because football is life.
Because we know firsthand the power of football can positively change lives.
Because there's nothing else we'd rather do.
Because our hearts beat football.
Because there's nothing quite like representing your country.
For the love of the game.
Por el amor.
Pour l'amour.
I'd leave the war.
For the love of the beautiful game.
Protection that moves to your beat. Protect your home with Armor Security. With 24/7 monitoring, instant alerts, motion sensors, and rapid response, you and your loved ones stay protected day and night. Sign up for the Protector or Commander package today and get a free security camera and installation. Armor Security, powered by Flow, in partnership with All Pro Security. We keep your rhythm flowing. Visit us in-store or online at discoverflow.co for more details.
Welcome back to the Larry Gomes Stadium in Malabar Arima, Trinidad, for second half action in this Group C encounter in the CFU Club Shield. Day 2 of the competition, and it will see the All Saints United team with a 3-goal cushion against the Eagles team out of St. Martin. This competition being hosted by the Trinidad and Tobago Football Association, and all 3 venues in use being powered by Flow. Next up, to be hosted right here in Trinidad and Tobago, the 2025 CFU Under-14 Challenge Series, and that runs from August 15th to the 24th. The CFU Club Shield is being organized by the Caribbean Football Union, and the CFU is the umbrella organization for 31 member associations in the English, Dutch, French, and Spanish-speaking Caribbean. We will resume with an immediate substitution being made by the Eagles team. Out is number 15, Jean McKenney, who we saw at the brunt or the end of a really robust challenge in the first half, near the end of the first half, and in for him is number 21, Romario Chillen. All Saints have also made a couple of changes. In is number 22, Vaughn Jackson, and so too is Shalon Knight, number 12. The players leaving the field are Zafiq Drew, number 2, and it seems as though number 18, or number 13 rather, the goal scorer, Tiquan Isaac, has also been withdrawn. So Eagles United leading 3-0. And they could add to that here, but for the alert hands of Chandro Wilkin in the goal for the SCSA Eagles of St. Martin. That time the man drawing the save was the player introduced, number 12. And that's Shalon Knight. Come the All Saints again, but that one is ushered back to his goalkeeper by Tapia into the arms of Wilkin. This is Webens Elise for Eagles. Gets it back now and is asking Jans Richards to make something happen. But he's well attended to by Leroy Graham. As a shadow now grows across the Larry Gomes Stadium, cast by the sun setting behind the main stand. Graham looking for the run of Bishop. Always a willing runner. Bishop does well to keep this in and under his control. Squares up Tapia. This is Detterville now, the man who scored the third item for All Saints just before halftime, and he's tackled out of it by Elise. Graham with the throw-in. And it's back to Dorrell Prayer. And now over to Blake Thompson into the feet of Theodore. And this is a battle on now. They come away with it. This is Janssen. Clips it over the top for Adriano Wilson. So it could be a chance for Eagles. He's trying to unselfishly lay it over for Elise. Was Wilson, and he does so again. Elise will have a chase on, but just had already given up on the play before it came back in his direction. So a good early chance for SCSA Eagles. They needed to put that one away to put some sort of pressure on the All Saints United team. In the end, they missed that opportunity. And so the clean sheet remains intact for the boys in white from Antigua and Barbuda. Here they come again. The reverse pass, or the attempted reverse pass by Detterville, looking for the run of Graham, is not very well executed. Richards with the throw-in for Eagles. Tapia. Tavernier loses out to that man, Jackson. Bishop offside that time as he tried to release substitute Shalon Knight.
Also, ladies and gentlemen, a substitution for SCSA Eagles. Entering the game, it's number 21, Romario Chillen. Leaving the game, number 15, Gene Henry.
So it seems as though Drew, who was occupying that right fullback position in the first half for All Saints United, he was withdrawn. And replaced by Shalon Knight. But rather than slotting into that defensive position, Knight is now along the right flank, and Ogaro has been brought back into that defensive position. This is a chance now. Weebens goes to ground under a challenge from Graham. Referee Games says nothing giving. And this is a good ball by Detterville, looking for the run of Knight, and he's tripped up by Tavernier. Or rather, that's the new man in, Chillen. Romario Chillen for his first infraction. Free kick to All Saints United, already holding a 3-0 cushion. They'll be looking to add further daylight between themselves and their opponents from St. Martin. Training ground set piece. This is Ogaro. Still alive. Recycles it to Detterville. And that's a lazy attempted cross. It's scuppered away by Eagles. And this is Elise. Elise leaves his man for dead. That's Graham. And then just loses out with Graham diligently getting back to his defensive duties and poking it onto the legs of Elise for a throw-in to the All Saints United Football Club. This is a ball looking for Detterville. Does enough to keep it in play, but this is Tapia with a good ball to Homer. He can't control it. This is Kazim Theodore. Reverses it to Bishop, and it's cleared at the second attempt by Tapia, who stays down. And Chilling now tries to get the Eagles going. Tapia is still down, and the referee stops play now, immediately instructing medical attention, as this looked like a head injury to Tapia. And he confirms this now, pointing to the right side of his forehead. Doesn't seem to be any open wounds. So perhaps just a knock, as he put in a second challenge to win that loose ball a moment ago. Just about 10 minutes gone in the second half here in match number 2 on day 2 of the CFU Club Shield. Tapia back on his feet. So he seems to be just fine. So let me just tell you, the Social Cultural Sport Association Eagles out of St. Martin is a team that's just 5 years old, 5 years and 2 months to be exact. They were the champions of the domestic league there since 2021. And this season, 2024-2025, they were undefeated on their way to also winning the championship. But they could be under some pressure here now, had Charlotte Knight been able to deliver something with a bit more quality. They have identified their standout players, and so far they've all lived up to that sort of billing. Weebens Elise, that's number 10. Timon Van Duyn, the number 14. Fernando Tapia, who we saw just a moment ago, received that knock to the head, but he's back on the field wearing number 4. And Khalid Tavernier, who is the number 11 for today. They're standout players. This is a dangerous sliding challenge by Jans Richards. He's called over by referee Moet Games. And we see it was his mistake in the first place. Just needing too much time and then going straight through the back of Detterville. And again escaping a yellow card. So we've seen it on at least a couple of occasions where players commit infringements that seem bookable, only to come away unscathed. And speaking of unscathed, that opportunity off the head of Kazim Theodore into the arms of Chandro Wilkin in goal for the SCSA Eagles. The team that currently leads this encounter, Group C of the CFU Club Shield, is the Antiguan outfit, All Saints United FC. And the man on the ball now, DeAndre Fats Bishop, identified as one of their main threats. So you see their captain, Kenduka Challenger, giving chase but forcing a clearance, an eventual clearance out of the Eagles. This is Detterville now, another one of their players identified as one to watch. So too is Leroy Farley Graham, who gets a touch now from Pear, Dorrell Pear. It's back with Pear now, and he's obliged to bring his goalkeeper, Jaden Martin, into the picture. This is Blake Thompson rather. Theodore, back to pair. Graham tries to pick out Vaughn Jackson, one of the substitutes. Detterville is a two-time Golden Boot winner in the Antigua and Barbuda Football Association Premier League. And today already he's opened his account in this CFU Club Shield tournament with the goal that made it 3-0 in first half stoppage time. So he's already affected things as far as this year's CFU Club Shield goes. This is Janssen. Tavernier gets it back to his captain, Luxley Parker. This is a good looking ball out toward Adriano Wilson, but it's well defended by Ogaro. And that's good skill by Chilling before he runs out of space on that far side. Throw in instead now to the All Saints team. This is Detterville. Plays it down the channel for Bishop. Bishops is on a run, and this is straight at Wilkin. He's expected to make that save all day long. So the Eagles team, with just half an hour remaining in this match, running out of time. As it's the All Saints United Football Club from Antigua and Barbuda holding comfortable 3-0 lead. This is Blake Thompson. Gets it now to Graham. Graham back to pair. Theodore wants a touch, but instead it's played out to Ogaro. Thompson will walk them forward. Shuffles it to pair. Graham is off on a run. Not much happening across goal, but he does manage to pick out Jackson fabulously. What an inviting ball indeed, and Jackson just gets ahead to it, but can't keep the header down. And look at the shape on this delivery. A beautiful ball, asking Jackson to latch onto it. He did indeed, but just couldn't direct something on goal to challenge the Eagles custodian. And that time, Bishop went for glory when a pass to Jackson, or even Theodore, might have reaped better rewards for the All Saints United club. Here now is Parker. Wilson looking for the run of Chillin. Chillin gets there before Thompson. Chillin is in, and it's a good goal, a brilliant goal at that by Romario Chillin, the substitute for the SCSA Eagles out of St. Martin. They are able to pull a goal back in the 63rd minute. A storming run down that left side by Romario Chillin, breezed by Blake Thompson, and then just lifted it over the onrushing Jaden Martin to steal a goal back for the SCSA Eagles of St. Martin, and cut their deficit to just 2 goals now, trailing 3-1 to the All Saints United from Antigua. So it's game on here at the Larry Gomes Stadium. As the SCSA Eagles of St. Martin managed to get one back. And maybe they're seeing the opportunity for one further. They'll have to take it one at a time, because here they go again through Adriano Wilson. This is a ball played into Janssen. Janssen is trying to return it to Wilson. Wilson picks it up now. Janssen picks up position, but Wilson is wayward in the cross. And it's out for a goal kick to All Saints. So, as things stand, a player is down for the All Saints United. That's Blake Thompson. And perhaps the effort to curtail the run of Romario Chillin, which led to that goal in the 63rd minute, took something out of the All Saints defender. In the meantime, we've had a bit of a delay for that injury. As we see, Thompson is still being treated. Just in the picture behind the goalpost. The All Saints come again now through Ogaro. This is a good ball into the chest of Bishop. This is played on towards Detterville by Graham. Throw into the Eagles team, and they'll come again trying to affect proceedings. They have a numerical advantage for the time being, with Blake Thompson of the All Saints United team still off the pitch. So they must find a way to make that numerical advantage count. This is a ball looking to pick out Weebens Elise, but it's cut out by Graham. Onto Detterville now, and he's penalized for a high boot on Jans Richards. Elise to Tavernier. Gets it back, Elise now. He has Graham for company. And he skillfully gets by his man. Can he deliver? This is a good ball across. And Wilson all alone at the back post. Perhaps he didn't have enough belief. Look at that skill by Weebens Elise. Just to evade his man Graham. And he delivered a cross on a platter for Wilson. Can't direct it on target. And that could have been a goal that cuts the deficit, or would have cut the deficit, to just one goal for Eagles. All Saints United have stepped off the gas. In all fairness, they did so quite early in this encounter, once they had a 2-0 cushion. Still, they were able to add to that with a goal just inside first half stoppage time for a 3-0 cushion, and now find themselves having to pick up the pace and the tempo once more as the Eagles team is growing in confidence. This is Loxley Parker. Chillin was a bit too laxed. And this now is Vaughn Jackson, forced all the way back to Ogaro. Ogaro plays this one to Theodore. Graham. He has Detterville ahead, and Bishop running into the channel. This is a fancy flick, but just out of the reach of Detterville. Meanwhile, Blake Thompson has returned to action for All Saints United in that back line. So they were momentarily a back three, but now they're a whole again, back four. Theodore trying to find Bishop. Tapia. This is Van Duyn trying to turn this one around the corner for Wilson. Janssen gives chase, and this is Jans. Jans Richards heads it on now to Elise. Homer. Bundled off of it by Vaughn Jackson. Referee Games spots a foul. And another All Saints player is on the canvas. That's Ogaro, it seems. Quite a number of players in the opening 2 days of this tournament, 4 games now, have been struggling with cramps, it seems. And of course, we've noted time and time again that it's not very cool conditions. As we see a substitution being made by Eagles, it's Martin Janssen being withdrawn in the 72nd minute. His replacement is number 9 for Eagles, Yannick Tinan. So that's a second substitution by Eagles. One of them was able to come on and score. So will Yannick Dinan continue in the similar vein as we see another player is down? And referee Games urgently whistles for the medical team to sprint onto the field. Player down seems to be Thompson again for a second time. And if it is, it could very well mean the end of proceedings. He's clutching his head. So it seems as though he was clattered into by his own goalkeeper, Jaden Martin, in trying to guard against the danger of that looping ball. He's sitting up right now, so doesn't seem to be badly hurt. But of course, as protocols dictate, once it is a head injury, all precautions must be taken. So Blake Thompson is yet again out of the action as referee Games now prepares to restart play with what we expect to be a dropped ball for the SCSA Eagles. This is Chillin, the goal scorer for them. He'll whip it into the middle immediately, and it's headed away and then booted clear by Tetterville. Not quite clear of the danger just yet. It's Van Duyn. Van Duyn trying to do a number on All Saints captain. Challenger with the challenge and concedes a throw-in. Jans Richards is going to go long. This is headed away by Jackson, Vaughan Jackson, for the All Saints United team, as two more players are left on the canvas, one of them being Dorrell Pear, and the other, who's just rising back to his feet now, is Graham. So is Pear. However, Thompson remains under observation behind the goal. You may see him just to the left of your picture there, as this is Elise with the corner kick for SCSA Eagles. It's a long one. Martin wants it. He drops it, and the referee spots a free kick. I'm not so sure that he was impeded as he tried to pluck that one out of the air. Certainly not by an Eagles player. Perhaps we'll have a replay of that to confirm. As a substitution is made by the All Saints team, and it's confirmed Blake Thompson will play no further part. In his stead, Roniba Cordis, number 16, has entered the action. Just have a look at that corner kick one more time, as we see Martin there trying to pick up position, and he was already in the air and perhaps had already made the drop when he was slightly contacted by Tavernier. But in the end, he gets off with the favor of referee Games. Another throw in now for Eagles. It's going long again. Yance Richards still not just cleared yet. It falls to Elise through the crowd and straight at Martin. So Eagles with a couple of chances in the last 15 or 20 minutes or so, but unable to add to the one that they've scored. And so they continue to trail 3-1 here at the Larry Gomes Stadium. Time is running out. This is their goal scorer, Chillin, Romario Chillin. He's everywhere. He's brought the energy since his introduction. And this now is Bishop, DeAndre Fats Bishop. He wins a throw-in off of Eagles captain, that's Loxley Parker. Ogaro ups to go back to the man just introduced, Cordis. This is challenger to Theodore. And, of course, Jackson had straight offside, so the acrobatics wouldn't have counted even if he managed to get it into the back of the net. This is Tapia now with the free kick. Wilkin will instead take over, and he's asking his team to push up and narrow. Aiming this one towards Van Duyn. He gets the flick on. This is the man just entering, Yannick Dinan. He goes back to Chillin. Chillin is looking for a runner. Plays it to Wilson. The header is won by Graham, and now here comes Detterville. Detterville, it's 4-on-3. Detterville is being chased down by Tavernier. He has to be careful. Detterville plays this one across to Jackson, and it's straight at Wilkin, and eventually just shuffled out for a corner kick. So Jackson with the goal at his mercy after the good work done by Detterville to drive the All Saints on. And then he just checked his run and squared it over to Jackson. He shouldn't have missed from there. In the end, he forces a save out of Chandro Wilkin. That keeps, for now, the Eagles team in it. This is now a ball being delivered by Graham, but it's overhit and only partially clear. This is substitute Cordis. Knights goes back to Cordis. Cordis floats this one all the way over looking for Detterville, but Van Duyn is there. Only a partial clearance. Detterville now. Detterville past one. 3 to aim at, including Bishop, who's just arriving. And then it's already gone off over the goal line before Knights could get anything meaningful behind it. 10 minutes left. 10 minutes remaining in this one. And it's the Antiguan outfit, All Saints United Football Club, leading against SCSA Eagles. 3-1. There was a push there on Ogaro. And so this is the latest free. The All Saints team. Theodore heads over and he plays this one infield now to Pear. Pear has a run from Jackson. Jackson is able to turn and whips this one in, but again, just too much on it. The crossing accuracy has left a lot to be desired, not just in this encounter, but certainly throughout this tournament so far. And that was one more example, one more instance of time, space to deliver something of quality that just never arrived. Here come the All Saints United team again, but this is cleared by Jans Richards. And it's kept alive. Tetterville will give chase. Richards is behind him. Richards is trying to get to it and does. Uses his reach. And here he comes now driving the Eagles forward. He has Homer in support, and so too is Van Duyn. Van Duyn flicks it on to Weebens Elise, but tries to get it back before the intervention of Dorel Pear. Bishop back to Challenger, who's trying to set Detterville free. But another overhit ball peters out into a throw-in for this Eagles team. Jans Richards is the man with it. But a double substitution is to be made before that throw-in can be taken. Out is number 3 for the Eagles, and that's Jans Richards. And in is number 7. Number 14, Timon Van Duyn, is also replaced. As there seems to be yet another stoppage. This time it's Ogaro who's feeling some sort of discomfort. And just to confirm, the player replacing Van Duyn, number 14 for Eagles, is number 16, Siebrand Lutzma. So
Also coming on to the SCSA Eagles, number 16, Sibram Lutzma, exiting the field, number 14, Timon Van Duyn.
So play resumes here now, as it's all the way back with Loxley Parker for the SCSA Eagles. Lutzma trying to exchange passes with Dinan. Detterville all the way back to Pear. Pear is lifting this one up. And challenger decides against going after it. This is Bishop now. But he loses out to Tavernier. Wilson has come into this right-hand defensive position for the Eagles. And this now is Chillin, aiming this one up toward Elise, but Martin collects and then just bowls it out for Graham. Lutzma comes across, but not before Graham gets it into the feet of Detterville. Detterville now to Jackson. And he's playing this one back to Cordis. Jackson gets it back now. This is Graham. Graham rolls it back to Pear. Pear steps into the space ahead of him. Lutzma is trying to harass him. Still Pear. This is Detterville now. Detterville steps inside, but loses out to a combination of Wilson and Elise. As another double substitution for the All Saints. Ogaro is done, and coming in is number 3, Vashami Allen. Meanwhile, Detterville is also being replaced, and in is number 29, Joyland St. Clair. So goal scorer Raheem Detterville is out. Number 29 is his replacement, Joyland St. Clair. As there are under 5 minutes remaining. So the All Saints have used all 5 of their substitutions. SCSA Eagles still have 1 remaining, as this latest corner kick now comes to Bishop, who gets it back to Knights. Knights will serve this one in enticingly, and that's another good save by Wilkin. He's been really the unsung hero in goal, despite conceding 3 times in this encounter. One of them, of course, was an own goal that he was powerless against. But he's made some vital interventions that has kept his side in it with a chance. Here now is Bishop trying to be cheeky, but it's cut out by Tapia. This is Elise. Bishop is chasing back. Elise is stopped in his tracks by Graham. Graham now charges ahead. He has on the outside of him Joyland St. Clair, one of the substitutes, and he's just eased off of it by Tavernier, who rolls this one out to Elise. Elise plays it into Dinan. Dinan back to Tavernier. Tavernier now to their goal scorer, Chillin. Chillin steps inside his man and drives into the opposition half. Checks back to Lutzma. Lutzma this is a good ball out to Elise. Graham wants to get there and does just enough to throw Elise off. And that is the final action from Elise, the number 10. He's replaced by number 20 for this SCSA team, Andre Knoll. So Webens Elize is substituted in the 90th minute. And in is number 20, Andre Knoll. That's the 5th and final substitution for the SCSA team. And so too have the All Saints used up all of their substitutions. Here they come on the charge again now. Along that right-hand side, the freshly introduced number 3 for Shami Allen. But a sliding challenge by Null nullifies any threat along that right side. And here they are again now. This is Theodore to Jackson. Jackson to Bishop. Back to Theodore. Back to Jackson rather. And Bishop is trying his luck from about 30 yards out. Wilkin watched it all the way as there have been 3 minutes of added on time signaled by the 4th official. Three minutes of added on time. Can the All Saints of Antigua add to their lead, or will the SCSA Eagles be able to make it nervy moments toward the end of this second game here on day 2 at the Larry Gomes Stadium in the 2025 CFU Club Shield? Dorel Pear now gets it out wide on this near side to Graham. Tavernier is chasing back, and he's committing the foul, or rather that's the recently introduced Jermaine Dameni. Theodore to Bishop. Bishop now to his captain, Challenger, and that's a tough tackle by Tavernier. Challenger remains writhing in agony on the ground. He gets the apology now of Tavernier. I must say, referee Moeth Games has been quite patient with these players and not too eager to dish the cards out. Not many of them have been shown, although some of the tackling has been quite robust. The latest of which has left the captain of this All Saints team, Kenduka Challenger, quite aggrieved. But he's back on his feet now and exchanges a sporting handshake with Tavernier. This is Jackson. Jackson will take it to the corner flag. Jackson joined by Graham, and it's flicked off of Jackson for a throw-in to SCSA Eagles. Wilson gets it up to Lutzma, and he's bullied off of it. This is Jackson again now, and Tavernier with another vital touch that just nullifies any developing attack. And they're just willing to wind the clock down now. This is Challenger, the All Saints captain. And that is the end. Full-time whistle being blown by referee Moeth Games brings this one to its conclusion. The final score here at the Larry Gomes Stadium: All Saints United of Antigua 3, SCSA Eagles of St. Martin 1. Full-time score in game number 2 on day number 2 here at the Larry Gomes Stadium in Arima. So as the players are exiting the field in this one, we have a look at the highlights. This was the second half The SCSA Eagles had that opportunity through their midfielder, Van Duin, into the wall, and then the second attempt, or rather that was first half action, and then this was the goal, the opening item. The captain of the All Saints team, Ken Duka Challenger, inviting an own goal from off the boot of the SCSA captain. And then things continued to progress in the first half. The second goal arrived off the boot of Taekwon Isaac, and that was in the 17th minute, giving the All Saints United a 2-0 lead. As things progressed, there were quite a few stoppages for injuries in the first half. And then second half action now with a goal mouth scramble. Tavernier for the SCSA Eagles putting that effort wide of the mark with the help of a deflection. And so they remained in search of something that would affect the comfortable 3-0 lead held by their opponents from Antigua. They did eventually get it, that goal arriving in the 63rd minute via substitute Romario Chillen. But in the end, that's all they could muster, as it resulted in a 3-1 win for the side from Antigua here at the Larry Gomes Stadium. We'll have some post-match comments for you after this short interval. Day 2 of the CFU Club Shield here at the Larry Gomes Stadium in Arima. We are joined for some post-match comments by Raheem Dataville of the All Saints United Football Club of Antigua. They came away with a 3-1 win. You scored the goal that pretty much put this game to bed. You know, how did it feel to get on the score sheet?
Yeah, it's a wonderful feeling. We just taking it one game at a time. It's very good to get the 3 points and on to the next game.
You all took this thing out of this game pretty early. 2 goals early in the first half, and then your goal right at the end in stoppage time. You know, what was the mindset in the second half, knowing that you already pretty much had the game in the bag?
In the first half, we played very well. The second half, I think we started laps a little bit, but the guys hold the composure and see it to the end.
2-time player of the year in the league back home in Antigua. You know, you bring that form into this competition. What are you looking forward for the remainder of your games?
I'm just taking it one game at a time, and hopefully we can go all the way in this competition.
All right, thank you very much, Raheem, and all the best to you. The comments there of Raheem Dataville of the All Saints United Football Club out of Antigua. They came away with a 3-1 win over the SCSA Eagles from St. Martin to start their campaign in this 2025 CFU Club Shield with all 3 points. It brings the curtains down on proceedings here at the Larry Gomes Stadium. Don't forget, this competition has been powered by the host nation, the host association, the Trinidad and Tobago Football Association, and internet provided at all 3 of the venues here at the Larry Gomes Stadium, the Hazley Crawford Stadium in Port of Spain, and the Atterbolden Stadium in Couva has been powered by Flow. And of course, don't forget, up next, it will be the CFU Under 14 Challenge Series Girls, and that takes place right here in Trinidad and Tobago from August 15th to the 24th. We hope to see you there and then. For now, though, that's it for today. See you again with action on day 3 here tomorrow at the Larry Gomes Stadium as the 2025 CFU Club Shield continues.
It's not simply about how many games you win, but more about how many lives you touch. This is why we do it.
Because football is life.
Because we know firsthand the power football can positively change lives.
Because there's nothing else we'd rather do.
Because our hearts beat football.
Because there's nothing quite like representing your country.
For the love of the game.
Por el amor.
Pour l'amour.
I'd leave the war.
For the love of the beautiful game.
Our world is filled with rhythm. Rhythm that's unapologetic, infectious, timeless. Rhythm is commitment in action. It's how we show up for each other with unrelenting support that goes the distance. Rhythm lives in the tiny beats of our most intimate moments and the seismic roars of our biggest achievements. Rhythm is resilience in motion. So, even when things go out of sync, we do what it takes to bring the rhythm back. At Flow, we understand your rhythm because we live it. That's why we're dedicated to building a network as resilient as you, with a team of familiar faces working every day to keep you on beat. You're at the heart of everything we do, and our commitment is to keep your rhythm flowing, no matter what.